All right, so I want to take a brief moment to talk about how much that you can expect to make. Now, when you first start out, something I'll talk about as well, you don't want to jump the gun and just say, oh, well, Brian says I can earn $100 per course on average, roughly, because every course is going to be different. We're going to talk about that here in a second. That doesn't mean that you just jump the gun and you go, oh, wow, $100 per course. That means I just need 100 courses and I'm making 10 grand a month, right? Or whatever it is. That's not what I'm trying to tell you. Don't jump the gun. You don't want to just go for quantity, because if you create a bunch of quantity of bad courses, it's actually going to hurt your earnings overall, because it's going to hurt your overall instructor rating, and it's going to hurt you for referrals and repeat students. So you want to slowly build up to that. Now, there's no reason. I'm not saying that you can't go out and create 10 courses your first month or something like that, or even 15. If you have the capacity and time to create 10 to 15 good ones, go ahead, go all for it. I'm all for that. I love it. But don't put the cart before the horse. Don't jump the gun. Start slow, essentially, build, and then test out. We'll first talk about, like I said, how much you can make per course. Then we'll talk about how much you can make per month and how to basically rank it long term, right? So typically on average, I do earn about $100 per course. Now keep in mind, I currently have about 45 courses total, so it wasn't always that way. I earned $100 per course when I had like 20 courses, right? And then slowly it went down to like $80 per course. It obviously fluctuates month to month, and it obviously fluctuates course to course. Each course is different. So last month on average, I think the lowest course I had was about $10 that month. It earned me about $10, which is not that great. But always remember that all of those are passive. So if I have a course sitting up on Udemy that's going to earn me, and it's ranked, it's not just sitting there, because there have been months where some of my courses have earned nothing before, right? So if it's ranked, it should sit there and earn you passive income. Even that $10 is 100% passive practically, minus some of the students that you have to basically, answer questions for, or some emails that you might get if you give out your email address. You don't have to give out your email address. I just like to, because I like to build that relationship with my students for repeat customers. But like I said, the lowest on average I think was $10. The highest was about $1,124, and that's usually one of two of my courses. And they obviously have the bestseller tag, which is something I will show you here in a second. So obviously that's going to depend on the market, okay? Whether you're earning $10 on your course, whether you're earning $200 on your course, or whether you have a heavy hitter that's a bestseller that's earning you over $1,000. And I've heard of instructors literally earning about $5,000 from best-selling courses. It all depends on the course. I've never personally done that. The max that I've ever earned is close to $1,500, I think, on my one course. But that's not all the time, as something we'll talk about here in a second. Usually, it's about $100 per course on average throughout my courses. So if you give me exactly what I get paid, overall at the end of the month, and we divide that by how many courses I get, that's what it roughly comes out to most of the time. So per month now, like I just said, I typically earn on average about $100 per course. So I have 45 paid courses, which equates to about $4,500 per month on average. Now, does that mean that I can go out and say, every single month I'm going to earn $4,500 a month from Udemy courses? No, it does not. Because just like the courses individually fluctuate, which is something we'll talk about in a second, the month-to-month payments fluctuate as well, okay? So, there might be, one of my courses might not do as well. One of my courses might do better. Some might, It fluctuates month-to-month just like the courses, okay? So the lowest month I've done in a while is literally about $2,000, which is pretty bad for 45 courses and about 200,000 students. But the highest month that I've done in a while is almost $10,000. It's a little bit under $10,000. So imagine that's fluctuating a lot, but usually it stays right around $4,500 to $5,000 on most months. Now, overall pay obviously does as well. So that fluctuates, like I said. It's not just the courses, and the individual courses fluctuate too. So for example, to give you an example of this, so a bestseller tag, which is something I'll pull up here in a second, is going to increase your conversions. There are certain tags that your courses can get that can increase your conversions. So if somebody hits that landing page and sees bestseller on the tag, or if somebody's searching for courses and they see bestseller on one of the course tags and not on the other course, which course do you think they're more inclined to go ahead and click and potentially purchase? Obviously the one with the bestseller tag. So certain tags can increase your conversions, which means more sales for those months. But that does not mean that if your course gets a bestseller tag, or if your course gets another tag, that they're going to remain with that tag. You have to keep the ranking up. You have to keep, increasing the sales. You have to keep customers happy, getting good ratings. You have to keep the watch time up relative to other competitors. So they tend to stay there. It might switch back month to month. So for example, if one of my courses has a bestseller on one month, it might remain at that with it the next month. But then the next month after that might lose the bestseller tag, and the course sales might drop slightly, and then the next month it might get it back, and then so on and so forth. Now, it also could go down if a competitor starts ranking their course better in that actual market as well. So if I have a fitness course that's doing really well, right? But then two other people create really good fitness courses, obviously they're going to steal some of my market share, so my course sales are going to go down. That's basically how it overall works. So to give you an example of this, here is an example of the bestseller tag on one of my courses, right? So bestseller right there, it's got a 4.5, 110 ratings, and almost approaching 20,000 students enrolled over time, right? And you can see here that I updated this last month, which is also something very, very important. People are going to look at this when they're going to buy, last updated. The last thing you want to see is when I'm going to buy this in 2019, that it was last updated in 2018 or 2015. You know what I mean? So you have to keep your courses updated. And that's super, super simple to do. It's not as hard as you think. So you don't have to go ahead and just reinvent your entire course. It's as simple as just adding something to the course, and then you'll see the last updated at X time, right? This is the bestseller tag. If this were not here, the conversions and the amount of money that this is earning currently would go down. I don't always have the bestseller tag on this course. It fluctuates between this and potential other courses, but that's just an example of one. Another example one is this is a new one. Sometimes you'll get a hot and new, which is red, or sometimes you'll get fire rating or something like that, which means you have a really, really close to 5 rating on a course. So there are certain examples of badges, obviously the bestseller being the best one that you want to go ahead and get if you can potentially get it, and Udemy gives those, Udemy assigns those, it's up to them. But that's just an example of how tags can increase your conversions and then obviously increase your sales. How long does it actually take to get going? So this is another question that I get quite often. People see where I'm at, people see where other people might be at, and they say, how long is it going to take me to get there? First and foremost, and we're going to talk about that here in a second, regardless of how long it takes you, don't look at the end goal. One thing that I want to talk about, and one thing that I just created a lecture on for another course, is a mindset course, and that's basically don't stare at the summit. If you look at somebody that has making X in a certain business that you want to do, or if you look on Instagram and you see all these people flashing their cars and their fancy lifestyles, that is the summit of the mountain, so to speak, right? What you want to do instead is you want to stare at your own boots. That's what they say. It's a metaphor to basically say take it one step at a time. Don't stare at the summit of the mountain. That's like a mountain climber's metaphor, right? So what you have to remember is that it's good free money initially right away. Because if you put up a course, you have to answer some questions here and there, but for the majority, it's going to be free passive income. Now, I'm not promising you, I'm not trying to sell you a pipe dream. I'm not saying you can slap 5 courses up and then go lay on a beach while you collect money from those courses the entire time. You have to maintain your ratings. You have to increase your watch time. You have to, do a bunch of things to rank your courses, which I will literally give you the blueprint to do. And more importantly, it's going to compound. So what do I mean by that exactly, okay? So to give you an example of the compound effect and certain things that you might earn throughout your course creation journey, both on Skillshare and obviously this module for Udemy, as well as YouTube, it's all relative. This is a life truth, not just on Udemy. Let's use this as an example. Most people think that this red line is what they're going to earn, right? So this might be a certain time in the future, and this is where they are right now, and they want to think, okay, I'm going to grow slowly. What is exactly the time that I need to get there? And it's going to go up like that. That's never how it works. How it usually works is it compounds over time like this black curve, right? So right here, you might be this might be month 1, and this might be $1,000, right? So month 1, you're not even close to $1,000. You just slapped up 2 courses because you might maybe you have maybe you're in school, or maybe you have a full-time job and you don't have enough time along with your kids to create 10 courses or 5 courses or even 20 courses, whatever, and rank them. Because also another factor is seasoned courses. So if you have a course that's been on Udemy for a year, it's already going to be a lot more ranked than a course that you just created. So time plays a major factor as well. So as does student, amount of students and everything like that too. So there's a bunch of different factors that go into it, but what you need to remember is it's a compound effect. So this might be month 1, you're nowhere close to earning $1,000, right? Month 2, you're still not at $1,000 a month. And this might not be the case for you. You might earn $1,000 your first month. I know people that have done that very, very easily. But what I'm trying to say is this might be, $5,000. This might be $10,000, whatever. It's a compound effect. So this might be month 2, and you're maybe at $300 a month with 3 courses or 4 courses. This might be month 3, month 4. And slowly, once you hit that compound, you get to like month 6 or month 7 or month 8 or month 10, and it's just going to shoot up. So as you build more students, you'll have more students to market to. You'll be able to send more promotional emails to those students. You'll have more repeat customers. You'll have a bunch of other ranking factors because you'll have more students in each course, which will then rank you higher on the platform for every single course, and it'll rank you higher as an instructor on the platform as well, and you'll be able to sell more courses. It's a compound and exponential growth factor. So what I'm trying to say is don't beat yourself up if you don't earn $5,000 in your first month. Don't beat yourself up if you're not at $10,000, in month 6. It's a compound effect. It will pay off. It's a long-term game. Treat it as a long-term business. Anybody that's on Instagram, anybody that's on YouTube that promises you that you can earn $10,000 a month tomorrow is probably, either stretching the truth or just flat out lying to you. So you can do those things. Regardless of the business, there's a lot of businesses that you can make money with. And this is certainly one of them. I've been doing it for over 2 years now. That said, you have to treat it like a business. There are other people competing on the marketplace for these course sales as well. And if you do that and you literally take the blueprint that I'm going to give you, you will be here, and it's only a matter of time. Now, to give you an example of individual courses and how long it can take, right? So like I said, each individual course earns different. Each individual course might, launch different and have different, pickup and traction patterns, right? So to give you an example of your first 5 courses that you create, this might earn you like 20 in month 1. Your second course might earn you like 50 in month 1. This is like 100 in month 1, 10, and then 19, right? So to keep going on the trend, this might earn you 20 in month 1. Then it's going to earn you 12 in the next month and 26 the next month. It doesn't always go up, but it tends to go up in that direction. So 26 in month 3, 33 in month 4, 65 in month 5, 70 in month 6, 120 in month 7, 130 in 8, 124 back down slightly in month 9, then backed up to 130 in month 10. So that's just an example of how a course can slowly increase over time in monthly earnings, and then you're obviously over a 130. Give you an example. This one might hit a cap right here at like 60 to 70 bucks, maybe 50 bucks, right? So maybe it earns you 50 right off the bat, not 20, but then it drops down to 37, and then it drops down to 20. Then it slowly starts increasing, but then it kind of hits a cap right around 50, 60, 70 bucks a month with this course. It could just be the market for that course. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. It's very, very important to target courses ahead of time and not just slap up what you want to teach. You can teach what you want to teach, and you can make money teaching what you want to teach, but it's just important. It'll give you the most bang for your buck essentially when you're creating a course. You'll give it the best chance to succeed. Then you have courses like this that might just take off right away. So you earn $102 in it on the first month. Then 117, then 150, then 330, then 250. Then it's like slowly starts coming back down to 100, but then it shoots back up to like 300-ish, right? And that might be on its way to being like a bestseller. And then D might just never take off. To give you another example, I'm not promising you that you're always going to earn 100 bucks. I'm not promising that you always earn 50. Some courses do well and some courses don't. Like I said, you want to give your course the best opportunity to do well, but on average, I've seen, and I've talked to other instructors that I network with as well, it's about 100 a month on average once your courses are ranked, once they're seasoned, okay? So not every course is going to be incredible, but that's okay. This is still passive income every single month. Then this course obviously is slightly different, and you get the picture, guys. So don't just look at it like this. Imagine if you had, 20 other courses, 10 other courses, 30 other courses, all sitting there like digital employees, just earning you money every single month. It can do wonders for your passive income and your bank account. And all you really have to do is continue to create courses if you want to earn more, or you want to create more digital employees, or you can simply rank your courses or create better courses, or you don't have to, and you can sit there and collect, courses. These courses obviously pay me whether I'm there or not. So I can go on vacation for a month and I will collect money on the beach. But that said, if I stop ranking my courses, if I stop doing customer service, if I stop answering questions, that I get through Udemy and stuff like that, then people are going to get annoyed. They're going to rate my course bad, and it's slowly going to start dropping. You have to treat it like a business. There's no promise here of just laying on a beach and collecting long-term passive income. It is passive. It's about 90 to 95% passive once you create the courses, obviously. So I love it for that reason, and that's why I love content while I'm teaching this course. That said, you do have to understand that it is a business, and you do have to take care of your customers so that you can continue to rank them long term, especially because I bet you 99.9% of other people are not doing that. So what if I told you, and this is just to leave you with a little bit of inspiration, what if I told you that you can make $500 in passive income the next month after you created a couple courses, right? That's like life changing. That's passive income. Once you create the courses, once you spend the time to create the courses, that's it. You're pretty much done other than answering questions or sometimes updating the courses, right? So it's pretty passive, $500 in passive income. That is life changing. That could pay a lot of your bills that come in. How about 1,000? What if I told you 6 months from now you can be making an average of $3,000 a month, all from doing Udemy courses? How about 10? It's possible. I've almost made 10 grand before on one of my months. So you see the power of these courses. You see the power of viewing them as a digital employee. It can literally change your life. Imagine if this just wasn't your course right here, like this just wasn't your course earnings right here. But we're looking at 2 years out, and now all of a sudden you have this many courses, right? So that's just a hint. That's just a taste of the potential here. You got so much potential to earn. I'm going to give you the blueprint. I just wanted to kind of talk about a little bit of realistic expectations, but also inspirational expectations, because they're both very, very possible, but you have to put the initial work in and then keep your courses ranked.